Looking for the latest news and rumors on Bryce Harper and Manny Machado? Don't worry, we have you covered. From now until both free agents make their decisions, we'll be here every day, tracking every rumor and breaking down what it all means. Check back often for the latest. Don't count out the New York Yankees on Bryce Harper or Manny Machado just yet. Owner Hal Steinbrenner said Thursday that the Yankees aren't necessarily out on baseball's two biggest free agents. The Yankees were assumed before this offseason, for quite a few years, actually, to get either Harper or Machado in free agency, given their reputation as MLB's biggest spenders. Recent reports, however, have the team not particularly engaged in either of them. What it means what you already should know: never count out the Yankees. They're not the favorite for either Harper or Machado after this, but it should always be known that the Yankees could swoop in at the last moment and sign anybody they want. The question, in this case, is whether they want to. GM Brian Cashman seems to have backed away from the types of deals that Machado and Harper are seeking, 10 years and $300 million, so there's a good chance he never even goes to the boss with such an ask. Still, agents for both Harper and Machado are probably happy to hear this. The most recent rumblings in Bryce Harper's free agency have included more teams reportedly being interested in the free agent slugger, and now we know at least one of them. What it means: we've talked a lot lately about due diligence with these Harper meetings, teams at least thinking about whether to sign the former NL MVP, see, Padres, San Diego, and that's happened a little more lately, as his market has opened up beyond the Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies and Chicago White Sox. This could be due diligence by the Giants, or it could be something larger. The Giants make a lot of sense in that they lack a true power bat in the outfield. If we're being honest, they haven't had one since Barry Bonds. The question is whether the rebuilding Giants would want to commit that much money to Harper while they're still tearing things down. In theory, they don't need him right now, but in 2 or 3 years, he could be a big help. It will probably come down to how much Harper and agent Scott Boras are willing to accept. It would be a surprise, though, if the Giants spent $300 million on Harper as he is reportedly seeking. Aaron Judge has a bold idea to help the New York Yankees sign Bryce Harper, and it would involve a pretty significant sacrifice on his end. In an interview with TMZ Sports this week, Judge said he'd be willing to change positions in order to make room for Harper in the Yankees' crowded outfield. "Harper has got more speed than me," Judge says in the video interview. "Wherever he wants to play, we'll make it work." Both Judge and Harper have primarily played right field in their MLB careers. Judge played one game in center field in 2018, tying the MLB record for the tallest center fielder on record. Harper, on the other hand, made 63 appearances in center field last season alone. He would seemingly be a better fit in that position, but Judge's proposed move would be predicated on Harper's preferences, not the Yankees. "Anytime you can add an MVP to a team, it's going to make it better," Judge added. "So, it just all depends on where he wants to go." Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, any of them. What this means: it means Aaron Judge is a team player, but it's not likely to change much of anything in regards to Bryce Harper's free agency. What would change it is the Yankees being willing to up their offer closer to the $300 million range. At this point, there's no indication the Yankees would even go past $200 million on a long-term deal. In the Yankees' case at least, there's a good reason for that. In addition to Judge, the Yankees have Jacoby Ellsbury, Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks and Clint Frazier as outfield options. Though he was primarily a designated hitter in 2019, Giancarlo Stanton is in that mix too. In other words, while it would certainly be dramatic, adding Harper isn't exactly essential. For now, we'll continue to consider the Yankees as fringe suitors at best for Harper, with the Phillies, White Sox and even the Padres still looking like better bets to sign the 6-time All-Star. February 4th, a mystery team has making a run at Bryce Harper. The Super Bowl is over and Bryce Harper still doesn't have a job with a Major League Baseball team. Things are likely getting serious soon for the top free agent on the market, as spring training starts for teams next week. The latest tidbit, via Jim Bowden of The Athletic and CBS, says there's a mystery team in the running for Harper. And there may even be more than one. Problem is, Bowden can't figure out who it is. The teams that we know for sure to be in on Harper are the Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago White Sox, Washington Nationals and, most recently, the San Diego Padres. The New York Yankees and Chicago Cubs have been linked to Harper in a broader sense, as big money spenders, but both have reportedly been tepid about their interest in Harper. What it means, like most rumors, we should start analyzing this one with the questions of where it's coming from and who does it serve. If Bowden doesn't know which team, then it's a good bet it's coming from an agent. That could mean Scott Boras and his camp are trying to rev up interest among other teams by leaking that there's new interest in Harper. It could also mean that one or more teams have seen the market for Harper and thought, hey, maybe we should inquire. That seems to be what the Padres did last week. And, if perhaps Harper will take less than the 10 years until the $300 million we've been expecting all off-season, it makes sense that other teams would drop in for some due diligence. January 31st, Padres interested in Harper. Bryce Harper has a new suitor, the San Diego Padres. According to The Athletic's Ken Rosenthal, the Pads are setting up a meeting with Harper in Las Vegas on Thursday. Publicly at least, this is a new pursuit for the Padres, who have also been linked to Manny Machado. Harper and/or his agent, Scott Boras, have met with a number of clubs in recent days, including second and third meetings in some cases, sources say. No indication a deal is close. https://t.co/LookUG9J Sugd, Ken Rosenthal, at Ken Rosenthal, January 31st, 2019. What it means, this could be a couple of things, actually. First, it could mean that Harper and agent Scott Boras aren't satisfied with any of the offers out there and are hoping the Padres, who have a bright future and money to spend, might up the ante. Second, it could mean that Harper's camp is using a San Diego meeting for more leverage, to get a team that they like to drive up their price. At the very least, this represents another team being interested in Harper. Reports have the Phillies and Nationals as the frontrunners at this point. The White Sox continue to be in too, according to MLB.com's John Morosi, and there's at least one more team on the periphery, which we have to assume is either the Yankees or the Cubs. If you're hoping perpetually that today is the day that Harper signs, it sounds like you still have a while to wait. Jan. 29. Despite Philly rumors, Harper and Machado no closer to decision. There was plenty of smoke surrounding Bryce Harper's free agency on Tuesday. But there's still no sign of fire. In fact, according to ESPN's Jeff Passan, both Harper and fellow elite free agent Manny Machado were no closer to signing a contract on Tuesday than they were on November 1. Speculation ran rampant after the video game franchise, MLB The Show, teased a revelation on social media. The anticipation grew in the early morning hours after rumblings of a Harper union with the Philadelphia Phillies surfaced. Even the Philadelphia police got in on the speculation with a spoof tweet. The rumors are true. Bryce Harper is coming to Philadelphia. Police. It's a multi-year deal worth $51,245 per year to start, with a city option to increase annually. Please refer all questions regarding Manny Machado to @PhillyFireDep. Not actually true. pic.twitter.com/ENXKDKLMAirfoot. Philadelphia Police, @Philly Police, January 29, 2019. Alas, there was no deal, or even any movement for that matter. While the Phillies can't be ruled out, neither can any of the other teams reportedly chasing the all-star outfielder. What this means? It means we're roughly 2 weeks away from spring training, and it's now conceivable that Harper, Machado or both won't be under contract when those respective dates for all 30 teams arrive. Imagine someone even suggesting that was possible a year or two ago and the response it would get. They'd be called crazy. Both free agents and their representatives continue to exercise patience as they seek the best possible deal. Nothing has suggested either player will be willing to budge. At the same time, the teams involved clearly aren't budging either. The lack of a resolution is definitely testing the patience of baseball fans, and quite honestly feels like it's hurting the usually palpable buzz that accompanies the calendar nearing February. January 28. Would Bryce Harper reveal his choice on a video game cover? We've reached the state of baseball's free agent freeze, where Bryce Harper rolling into a Las Vegas casino during the winter meetings and announcing his free agent destination in a grand spectacle seems like something that could only happen in a dream. Ditch the pen and paper on football's biggest day. Go digital with Square's Pick'em, Mini and baseball hoped for that sort of thing. Instead, we're going on 2 months of waiting while teams think about opening up their wallets for Harper and fellow free agent star Manny Machado. This is also to say that we're eager for any slight clue about where they might sign, that we're reading cryptic tweets and sleuthing out scenarios why they make sense. Such as this one from the MLB The Show Twitter account, which has us thinking that maybe a grand spectacle could happen after all. What this means? Most likely, nothing. Most likely, it just means that MLB The Show is just rolling out an announcement about a game it's launching in a couple of months. But we're so starved for action these days, let's think about what it could mean. It could mean that MLB The Show is going to unveil Harper in the uniform of whichever team he's choosing to sign with, on a new cover of the game. You'll recall that Sony announced Harper as its cover athlete without a team represented. It could mean that Harper is making a free agency announcement unlike any we've ever seen. You want a 2019 way to break sports Twitter? Make the announcement on a video game cover. That would be remembered for years and years to come. It would be like LeBron's decision for the video game age, a type of move that would send shockwaves around not only baseball but sports and pop culture in general. If Bryce Harper really wants to be a baseball superstar, this is what he would do. Alas, this probably just a video game announcement. Jan. 26. Padres trying to set meeting with Machado. San Diego Padres have taken the next step in their pursuit of Manny Machado. The team is reportedly trying to set up a face-to-face meeting with Machado, according to Dennis Lin of The Athletic. After sitting out the process for most of the offseason, the Padres have become late entrants into the Machado sweepstakes. While early Machado suitors, like the Chicago White Sox and Philadelphia Phillies, have already met with a 26-year-old superstar, the Padres haven't gotten that far yet. What this means? It's probably time to start taking the Padres seriously as contenders for Machado. While the team isn't known for flashy free agent moves, it did sign Eric Hosmer to a $144 million deal last winter. Given that Machado hasn't signed yet, it's clear the star infielder is waiting until a team has willing to meet his demands. The Padres could steal Machado away from those other teams if they are willing to exceed every other offer. Either that, or the Padres' involvement will compel the White Sox or Phillies get more aggressive about their pursuit of Machado. January 25. Padres taking closer look at Manny Machado. San Diego Padres are no longer a mystery team for Manny Machado. The Padres are reportedly serious suitors for the 26-year-old superstar, according to Kevin Acee of the San Diego Union-Tribune. The Padres were inspired to take a look at Machado after rumors leaked that the Chicago White Sox had offered Machado a 7-year, $175 million deal. That rumor was debunked by Machado's agent, who implored reporters to stop fabricating news. If Machado signs with San Diego, he would mostly play third base, according to Acee. The team had initially planned to fill that position via trade, but changed course and is looking at the free agent market now. What this means, it sounds like the Padres are willing to wade into the Machado market after his rumored offers were lower than the Padres expected. After cautiously waiting out free agency most of the winter, it's unclear whether the Padres will suddenly make a grand offer for Machado, but it's not like any other team has stepped up thus far. While Machado has expressed a desire to play shortstop, he reportedly told the White Sox he would play anywhere, so the Padres putting him at third might not be a deterrent if they are willing to pay Machado. January 24, Machado tells White Sox he'll play anywhere on the field. Chicago White Sox manager Rick Renteria provided some insight into his club's meeting with Manny Machado last month. Most notably, Renteria revealed that Machado informed the White Sox he'd be willing to play anywhere the team needed him if he chooses to sign there. "This young man has said that he will play wherever we need him to play to help us win," Renteria told NBC Sports Chicago. "So I'm not worried about where he's going to play. He knows the makeup of the roster, he knows who we have on the field. I'll just leave it at that, and say that this kid wants to be a participant and will do whatever it takes to help a Major League Ball club win championships." After moving to third base to begin his MLB career, Machado primarily played his original position, shortstop, for the Baltimore Orioles and Los Angeles Dodgers last season. There were not so subtle indications that Machado preferred to remain at shortstop for his next stop, but apparently he's softened that stance. What this means, it's particularly notable news for the White Sox. The rebuilding club has few long-term players in place, but young shortstop Tim Anderson is certainly one of them. If Machado is willing to be flexible for them, that removes a major hurdle. We've heard past reports that Machado would also forego playing shortstop to play for the Yankees, but they had been the only known exception to date. It would be interesting to know if he's telling the same thing to the Phillies and other potential suitors. If so, it could open up more possibilities for Machado. But as we've seen so far, the primary factor is still the money. January 23, surprising team checks in on Harper and Machado. This week's Hall of Fame announcement has taken some attention away from the Bryce Harper and Manny Machado sweepstakes. Not that much has actually changed. While neither player seems all that close to making a decision, we did learn Wednesday that a surprising new team might be considering a long-shot run at Harper, Machado and some other big-name free agents still available. That team? The San Diego Padres. Not sure if it qualifies them for mystery team status, but the Padres have checked in with Machado, Moustakas, Marvin and yes, Harper. Their plan is to shoot for 2020, and no word yet they've made offers to any of the four, but they could move up the timetable with one big buy. John Heyman, at John Heyman, January 23, 2019. What this means? It means teams are paying attention to the market and are gauging whether it makes sense to jump in the ring. As FanCred's John Heyman noted, the Padres' rebuild has been geared more for the 2020 season, but that doesn't mean they can't make another surprising splash like when they signed Eric Hosmer last winter. Whether Harper or Machado want to play there, and whether the Padres can ultimately afford them, is a different story. But it doesn't hurt to make the phone call. If nothing else, we should probably take the Padres more seriously when it comes to the next tier of free agents. This could be a prime time for San Diego to strike on a Mike Moustakas or Marvin Gonzalez to help them gain ground in 2019. January 18, Manny Machado's father weighs in on free agents. Emmanuel Machado, the father of free agent Manny Machado, might know something we don't know. According to Hector Gomez of Sports, Mr. Machado is dropping hints that his son could end up signing with a team that fans and reporters aren't necessarily thinking about. That would seem to be bad news for the Chicago White Sox and Philadelphia Phillies. Making matters worse for them is this report of two potential mystery teams from SNY's Andy Martino. What this means? It means, we've heard from everyone that's close to or directly involved in the process except for Bryce Harper and Manny Machado themselves. Machado's father would seem to be as good a source as anyone. And the fact that two reporters are supporting the idea of mystery teams lends it even more credence. But we always have to be aware of agents and camps creating spin to better position their interests. What we've probably really learned here is that we're still a long ways from Machado making a decision, and that it's possible he's waiting for one or two teams in particular to get involved. January 17th, could Phillies pair Mike Trout with Harper or Machado? The Philadelphia Phillies are reportedly dreaming big in regards to their future lineup, and those dreams extend well beyond this offseason. According to Sports Illustrated's Tom Verducci, the Phillies are envisioning a future lineup that will include one of either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, to go along with Mike Trout. Philadelphia began this offseason keeping Trout in mind. According to a baseball source with direct knowledge of their shopping plans, the Phillies have enough spending money to sign both Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, but would like to sign just one of them to leave room in the budget in case Trout reaches free agency in 2 years. In one dream scenario, the Phillies would field an all-MVP outfield in 2021, Trout, Harper, and Andrew McCutchen. Trout, who's a New Jersey native and a Philadelphia Eagles fanatic, will be a free agent following the 2020 season. What this means, we're probably getting a little too far ahead of ourselves here, but given the lack of activity one can't blame our minds for wandering. A Harper signing would be the next step in building the aforementioned dream outfield that would also include Andrew McCutchen. 1/3 of that outfield is already in place after the team inked McCutchen with a 3-year, $50 million contract this winter. As noted, Trout would come at least 2 years down the road. Though it's possible the Phillies could test the trade waters in hopes of making this scenario a reality sooner than later. If the Phillies have the money now to sign both Harper and Machado, then they should definitely be players for Trout. But the bigger question is, will Trout even be available? It's entirely possible he signs an extension with Los Angeles, which could leave the Phillies regretting not going harder after both Harper and Machado. Aside from Trout's availability, a lot can and probably will change over the next 2 years. The Phillies might find success without Trout or discover they have bigger needs to address. The market landscape could change, which could lead more teams to getting involved on Trout. It's even possible, though far from likely, that Trout's value will decline. Whatever the case, it is clear that Trout's future availability is having a notable impact on Harper and Machado's market. January 16th, could Bryce Harper-Gabe Kapler bromance help the Phillies? The days keep rolling by and there's still no definite movement on a contract for either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. But as the world waits for their decisions, FanCred's Jon Heyman released a delectable nugget of information on Wednesday about Bryce Harper and Philadelphia Phillies manager Gabe Kapler, and what happened when they met in Las Vegas last week. Word is, Harper and Kapler really hit it off during the Las Vegas meeting, which could be another factor in Phillies' thinking. Easy to see that, both quite intense. Jon Heyman, at Jon Heyman, January 16, 2019. They didn't just become friends, they reportedly really hit it off. Is anyone else imagining them riding around Philadelphia on tandem bikes? There was a little news on the Machado front as well, with ESPN's Buster Olney reporting more details about the offer the Chicago White Sox made a few weeks ago. The White Sox offer to Machado is for $175 million, over 7 years. In some ways, their approach is like Boston's with J.D. Martinez. Last winter, the Red Sox offered $100 million and waited for 2 months. If CWS offer emerges as best, a big is, would Machado, NYY re-engage? Buster Olney, at Buster. ESPN, January 16, 2019. What this means, if Heyman's report is true, that's good news for both the Phillies and Harper. As Heyman said, Kapler is an intense guy, but his managerial style isn't for everyone. If Harper had been put off by Kapler's intensity and his near-relentless focus on positivity, that could be the end of any interest he had in signing with Philadelphia. For the Phillies, they could be feeling much better about offering Harper a massive, multi-year contract if they saw their possible new star hit it off with their hand-picked manager. As for Machado, while we knew a 7- or 8-year deal had been offered by the White Sox, the figure of $175 million is new. That's indeed the highest offer Machado has received. It's no wonder he hasn't signed yet. It's far below what he is looking for, and with an annual value of just over $21 million a year, it's an offer that nearly every single MLB team could beat. Now we just have to wait and see if one will. Jan. 15. Phillies still in on Harper and Machado, but won't sign both. The Philadelphia Phillies remain the most fascinating team in the sweepstakes for Bryce Harper and Manny Machado because they've said they're going to spend stupid money this offseason and, as far as we know, are in on both Machado and Harper. But now there's this, they're making it clear they won't sign Machado and Harper. That's from The Athletic's Matt Gelb, who dug into the Phillies' ongoing dance with baseball's two biggest free agents. He says the Phils prefer Machado and they're confident they'll get one of them, but they're not trying to get both. Gelb writes, the Phillies are believed to prefer Machado over Harper because he is an elite hitter and defender, but conflicting information has spread from team to team and agent to agent. That, of course, is by design. The Phillies do not benefit from broadcasting their preference. League sources insisted the Phillies have made this much clear during negotiations, they will not sign both players. What it means, the Phillies remain in the best place, lots of money, lots of use for a top-flight free agent and an improving young team to build around. They're a good destination for either Harper or Machado, and while Phillies fans might have held a sliver of hope that both would end up with them, that was never too realistic of a dream. Stupid money is one thing, spending close to $600 million on both Machado and Harper would require many more adjectives. Still, it remains a pretty good bet that one of these guys will be playing in Philly next year. Jan. 13. White Sox reportedly offer Machado 8 years. The Chicago White Sox have offered Manny Machado an 8-year deal, while the prized free agent remains engaged with the Philadelphia Phillies, according to a Sunday report from ESPN's Jeff Passan. Passan also reports that the Phillies remain focused on Bryce Harper, which jibes with earlier reports that his weekend visit with the team in Las Vegas has changed the tides of baseball's biggest offseason story. The meeting appears to have shifted the landscape of both Harper and Machado's free agency, according to USA Today's Bob Nightingale and MLB.com's Todd Zolecki. Earlier Sunday, Nightingale reported that optimism is high following the Saturday meeting that included Harper, his wife Kayla, his agent Scott Boras and other members of his representation. Zolecki dove a little deeper, reporting that the meeting in Harper's hometown of Las Vegas went so well, the Phillies' primary focus may have shifted from signing Manny Machado to signing Harper. Two sources told MLB.com on Sunday that the Phillies' presentation and meeting went well. So well, in fact, that the Phillies might be shifting their focus from Manny Machado to Harper, although it is unknown if the club made a formal contract offer to Harper before leaving town. The Phillies' contingent consisted of managing partner John Middleton, president Andy MacPhail, general manager Matt Klentak, manager Gabe Kapler and assistant general manager Ned Rice. The same group, plus others, made a similar pitch to Machado late last month at Citizens Bank Park. While USA Today paints the Phillies as the favorite.